Hello, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your August 2019 Path of True Love reading. I am your reader for today, Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, the professional witch, professional intuitive. These are a lot of fun doing these. I'm ready to rock and roll. I brought my chairs in a little closer because my cats wanted to sit with me. Of course, the second I turned on the camera, they skedaddled. So we'll see if they jump back up. And I'm wearing today something that I haven't worn in a while. It's a Spank. It's a T-top Spank that I'm wearing for my Scorpios because, you know, Scorpios are all about compression, keeping it under wraps. So that's what we're doing. I didn't even light the stairway just to give that sort of like, you know, spooky Scorpio feel. Anyway, so I already blessed the decks for you Scorpios, that they be used as a channel of grace and guidance for you on the path of true love, and that you get what you need. So as I was tuning before, because, you know, I can't bless the decks for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for August 2019 without tapping into the collective of it. And as I flow the energy out, it connects. It's like plugging into an old-fashioned switchboard. So I'm feeling thousands of different stories here, but I'm really wanting to bring forth the best, the very best, and the very blessed reading possible, particularly because I work with so many Scorpios through Drawing the Circle Productions. They've been so foundational for me. It's foundational garment. Not that I need it anymore. It's still good to have. You never know. Because a Scorpio is always good to have nearby, my dear friends. So let's dive in, shall we? Now we're doing these readings a little bit different than last month. If you haven't watched any of the previous ones, I'm doing them in order. I only have one planet in Scorpio, and it's a Neptune, which is generational. So, you know, everyone in my generation has that. I think I might even have it retrograde now that I think about it, which makes sense. But because I have Scorpio in the 4th house, usually ruled by Cancer, doing readings out of my home, for example, can be very, very, very powerful. So let's dive in. I'm going to pick 2 cards from the Carolyn Mace archetype decks, one for the Divine Feminine in this relationship and one for the Divine Masculine. Now, to clarify, when I say Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine, I'm not talking about biological gender. I am talking about energetic dynamic, because we all have both Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. If you like, the Divine Masculine is the Divine Mind. The Divine Feminine is the Divine Heart, in which the throat chakra, the child, has to choose between the two of when they don't agree, but when they are in alignment. Choices and decisions much easier. And how many choices and decisions do you have to make on the path of true love? A crap load. So let's dive in. Since I've already said the prayers beforehand and the blessings of the deck, the blessing of the decks, used my plurals there. As you can tell, I'm going non-linear. Let's do this. God, Goddess, all that is, please, one card for the Divine Feminine in this Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for August 2019. This guy, this one. Ooh, the Priest. Now, there is not a Priestess card in this deck, so it is gender neutral. So I will put that over there on the left-hand side, and what I've been doing is laying out all the cards from each of the decks and then diving in, particularly because these Carolyn Mace cards have words written on them. I will read those once all the cards are laid out. So interesting, Priest, that's not what you think. Rarely are archetypes exactly what you think if you go too literal. You just have to kind of go in on an angle to see it differently. It's like turning a gemstone and looking into different facets to see what you're looking for. So remember, if you've done this before, if you've watched one of these with the archetypes cards before, you're really trying to tune in to which of these, either the Divine Feminine or the Divine Masculine, clicks for you, which one feels like represents you. Although you could have both archetypes in your chemistry, your alchemical chemistry. You can tell by the ones that really repel you, because I could feel some of you just went Priest like that. Chances are you have it. When I read it, it'll make more sense. As well as you can be like, oh, ding, ding, ding. You're looking for animation, positive or negative. Always or never, 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 or always, right? That's how you know an archetypal pattern, at least one life long. It's called a Chronos archetype. I overstudied this stuff. So feel this one out. So as we now tune to God, Goddess, all that is, all that is, all that is, please, one card for the divine masculine in this relationship for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for August 2019. Oh, the lover. Neither one of these cards have come up yet, and I really love the lover card. I have the lover card life. Is it my Chronos wheel? It's in my Kairos wheel in the throne of Libra. So I will read those individually, but I can feel this already. This is something else. This has got a touch of the mystical. This has got a touch of this, more than a touch of the spiritual. Again, just because the lover is present doesn't mean that this is about romance or sex necessarily. It might be with Scorpio. What are the chances it is? Probably pretty high. But that's why we bring in the other decks. So I'm now going to ask the angels, the Enduring Virtue Angelic Healing Oracle or something like that. And I've already tuned to the Gabrielites, but I have asked any of the archangelic orders to contribute as they see fit. So my angels, please, one card for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for August 2019. A clue, a tip, a hint. This one. Body care. Let's get physical. Let's give you a little Olivia there. Let's get into physical. We'll go into that one. That one's got a pretty strong hit on it, but we'll go deeper. My gods, in particular, Hades and Poseidon, you who share the throne of Scorpio in my 4th house. Hades, who is my annual patron, chosen. He chose me at Yule. Been with me ever since, halfway through the year. No regrets. I love him so much. And Poseidon, the depth of masculine emotion, turbulent can be, but also incredibly rich. So I ask my gods, please, one card, please, an overview, a clue, a tip, a hint for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for August 2019. They ain't messing around. The Coyote Woman, the Trickster, which is this deck, Daughters of the Moon, splits the Devil card into 2 different decks. Oppression and the Trickster, the Coyote Woman, which is very interesting because that is the saboteur archetype, how we sabotage ourselves, how we sabotage others. But then this already indicates that this is about empowerment, because the saboteur archetype is all about decisions of empowerment or disempowerment, whether we empower or disempower ourselves, empower or disempower another, or if someone tries to empower or disempower us, how we interrelate with them. There's a lot on that card. Coyote is just such an ancient animal, totem spirit guide. The trickster, the teacher, usually associated with Hermes and Loki, the messenger gods, the trickster gods. But I just want to stay in this one. It feels so good. But we'll get back to that, because now we need to ask the masters. Oh, my masters of true love, who we had a nice little chuckle earlier today during the tune-in, blessing the cards. I thank you so much for being here, my masters of true love. I ask you, please, for one card and overview for the Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for August 2019. Please, just one card, clue, a tip, a hint. And you gave me a pack. Let's try that again. Hey, a clue, a tip, a hint. That's the one. You saw that one jump? Receiving. Aww, you big bottoms. Cancel. I didn't mean that. Maybe I did. Let's see. You never know what pops out of my mouth. Speaking of water signs, let's rehydrate a little bit. This looks like it's going to be a little bit into the underworld, which I'm very familiar with the underworld. I have speed pass. I don't need to cross the river Styx. They give me portals. So as I tune to these 5 lovely cards here on my dining room table, oh, I can feel that there is a good thing coming here, that there are blockages to receive on both sides here. The divine masculine lover, which is interesting because the lover itself, the lover archetype, is part of the masculine family because it is very yang, it is very demonstrative. And the priest archetype, the divine family. So let me actually read this, because there feels like there are so many situations here that trying to find the connective thread here might be a little tricky, because with Scorpio things are usually hidden. So I'm really just going to relax into this and see what happens. The priest archetype for the divine feminine. Light attribute. Remember, all archetypes are neutral. They have both lead and gold, light and shadow. So we start with the light. Facilitates spiritual commitments, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. So look how many divine feminine Reiki masters are there, or Reiki practitioners, or sound healers, where they're channeling, or just straight up channeling, right? A lot. There's a lot there, though you may not identify as priest or priestess. And remember, we're not talking about biological gender here, so this could be male, 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 female, 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 transgender, whatever. Hey, live and let live, fairly take, fairly give. You know, that's how I roll. We're really looking at dynamics here. But I have to say, the priest and the lover feels very ancient too. A lot of these that I've been doing since I added the archetype cards, how really they're showing me projected back like thousands of years that those particular relationship patternings have been in play. So there is a little feeling of a past lifey thing going on here, particularly because it's Scorpio, because that's not always the case with every reading that I do, but certainly a priest and a lover, or a lover and a priest. You know, a holy, sacred, but someone who usually holds a position or an identification with that priest thing. Oh, the shadow. Do we need to really look at the shadow archetype of the priest, or are we pretty much fucking aware of what that is? Let me do my due diligence. Shadow attribute. Violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. Go watch Castlevania on Netflix. What do you think I do on my downtime? Read cards? I need my Netflix and my anime and my cartoons. I just hope Chelsea Handler puts out something again soon. I need to watch her. She's my soul sister. You know, we share a Pisces degree. Her Pisces sun is the same as my Pisces moon. That's why I love her. Watching her is like relief. So let's look at this divine masculine, the lover. Now I have this one. It's in my second wheel, my Chronos, meaning that it comes and goes. It backs up my Prince archetype in the throne of Libra, the house of Libra, third house for me. Light attribute, great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. Guilty. That's me. Oh, I'm such a good boyfriend. I am such a good lover, and not just the bedroom part, like the whole nine. Ask any of the thousands I have dated. Are you ready for the shadow attribute? I think you know this one already. Obsessive passion that harms others. Self-destructive devotion. Self-destructive devotion. Little Miss Havisham going on there, wearing the wedding dress in that old house, waiting for her man to come around. Oh, I will wait for you. Thousands of years later. We get that vibe, don't we? Don't we know that one? I'm sure there are lots of lover archetypes. Really, read Carolyn Nay's Sacred Contracts, people. Get that these are soul powers you incarnated to develop. And so they're written into your script and into your character bio, so to speak. So just looking at this and feeling that out, that priest and that lover, that there's definitely something about this body care that the angels have showed me. Now, there is no down and dirty have sex card in this angel deck until I didn't make it. It's not Doreen Virtue style, not anymore, at least at the time, who knows. But there's definitely something about physical touch and correct. And if not, sorry, they're saying if not directly sexual, because it's not going to be for everybody, it can be sensual. It can even be like a healing thing, right? Body care can very much be about, yes, the need to be touched, but also someone who is a channel of spiritual energy might find themselves in that capacity as well. Maybe not so much as healer, but as channel of divine energy for this lover. We shall see. This would actually make an interesting marriage, because you'd have like one very, very sacred and one very, very yang active. That would be a really good marriage. But let's see. When I tune to this card of the trickster, that I get the image of chasing your tail. One of you or both of you are chasing your tail. Now, if you're chasing each other's tail, that's a weekend. Get yourself a 6-pack of wine coolers. make hay while you may. But there is something here about decisions of empowerment, about, do I step up to the plate? Do I put myself forward? Do I empower myself? Do I empower this other? Or do I decide otherwise? Do I decide to play weak? Do I decide to play small? Do I decide to make them appear weak, make them feel small? All sorts of dynamics going on there, particularly if these two are not in harmony and understanding each other's spiritual path, because the priest archetype, you can't get away from that. And again, I really should say priestess because it's divine feminine, but can we knock off the gender stuff? It's all gender neutral. It's all gender neutral when it comes to this stuff in terms of biology, right? And there's this lovely card of receiving. So that's the thing about Scorpios. They are, feminine energy. Half the signs are masculine, half the signs are feminine. So feminine is that yin, that receptive, that willingness to receive. But there might be this thing of, am I being screwed over here? Am I being sabotaged? Or could it be that saboteurs of the past are haunting you, my Scorpio, regardless of which side you're on here, and putting a little bit of a blocky-walkie there to your willingness to receive. Also, if there's any second chakra issues going on, I'm getting from the master, second chakra issues, constipation, lower back pain. Just the second chakra is just right below the navel. So have a look there. Particularly, I know for myself, lower back is usually about money, but it can be about not feeling supported or being willing to support, including your own ability to receive. Can you support yourself? Can you empower yourself to be able to receive what's going on here? So with 5 cards, I'm not stopping here. Oh, and I'm going to use those Whispers of Love cards at the very end. So let's clarify. Can you give me, let's use my angels, please, one card to clarify this card of receiving. Please, a clue, a tip, a hint. A clue, a tip, a hint. What is this card of receiving about? It is one of the healing cards in the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack. So please, one card to clarify what is being received here, or what needs to be received. Support, right? When I'm just talking about lower back, man. There we go. But I'll hold up this card again. Support, if you can see it, it's not just about being supported by other humans. It's about being supported by the guides, the angels, the gods, the masters, the higher powers that be, singular or collective, as you choose to see it. So that makes sense. So this is about support. But now I'm wondering, because this is Scorpio, 8th house usually, in mine it's 4th house, but 8th house dynamic is very much other people's resources, right? Money, sex, power. But money, is this a question of financial support? So how about we go and pull? Ooh, you want me to pull one of these? Okay. So please, my gods, please clarify, what is the nature of the support that is in the receiving here for these two, for this Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign path of true love reading for August 2019. Please clarify one card. What is the nature of the receiving of support? Okay, they're not going to come right out and say it, but they're going to say that there is a deception going on here, which totally matches with that that coyote, right? They even look like they're in sort of the same terrain with the night sky behind them. Right, it could be just different parts of the same terrain. Now, this does not necessarily mean that you are being deceived, Scorpio, but that there is usually with this card a self-deception. Now, I know it looks like Two of Swords, right? Because she's got the blindfold on if you read Rider-Waite or many of the variations on Rider-Waite. But I don't know if I can bring it close enough to the camera, but if you look below the feet, there are two swords hidden. So something is being hidden, but it feels like that is self-deception. Remember, this is the path of true love that we're talking about here. This is about a mystical path, a means of looking at your spiritual path, your healing path, your personal path through the lens of relationships, right? And however relationship is moving you closer to the divine within yourself and in union with another. So, I mean, yeah, maybe for some of you, there's some sketchy stuff going on here. Scorpios, you'll fucking hide things. That's what you're good at. But you're also really good at discovering secrets, right? You make great surgeons and detectives and like anything that goes beneath the surface. You guys are really, really prone to finding shit out because you also know how to hide stuff. So, let's really, you want me to look at the body card, the body care card? Let me see what is, well, since that could indicate finances as well. My masters, please, one card of clarification and elucidation for the body care card for Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love, August 2019. Please, a clue, a tip, a hint, a clue, a tip, a clue, a tip, a hint, a clue, a tip, a hint. This one, play. All right, so we're not really looking at so much the financial part of it here, that there is something light about this, that play might not mean that the rules are so strict, but that there are rules of the game, that there are boundaries in place here most likely. I'm not getting like a heavy abusive thing on this, so that the body care can be more one of lightening up. And again, with this card of support and receiving support, but they're all, they just gave me the words trust issues. Oh, who ain't got trust issues, right? Who was born in that family, in that situation where everything that was always promised was always given, right? That's just not humanly possible, he said as he took a swig of amethyst crystal holy water, made it home. You know, I can feel this lover really, really wanting to charge in and just be like, I want to do this. I want to feel this. I want to experience this with you, the divine masculine and the divine feminine being just like, I don't know. Let's keep it light. Let's just play. Let's not get too serious. So this feels like a replay. Like I said, this has a past life feel to it as well. All right, they want me to clarify that, trickster, and I will do that. You don't use this one. All right, let's use this deck. Can you please, my masters, give me one card of clarification and elucidation for the trickster? What is the nature of this trick? If you'll even let us know. It's a major arcana card. But please, one card, clarification, a clue, a tip, a hint. A clue, a tip, a hint. A clue, a tip, a hint. Too many cards, but really good ones. Let's see if they come around again. Okay, so I'm just going to pull from these. A clue, a tip, a hint. A clue, a tip, middle card, a hint. Old wounds, there it is. You know, what are these other? Orgasm, pain, and enjoyment. Okay, I don't know if that's B&D, S&M. I'm more into M&Ms myself. Thank you, 9 to 5. Interesting. So, I mean, that the trick is about you're being triggered. Whichever one you are in this, the divine feminine priest or the divine masculine lover, that they're old wounds, right? And so if you even look at the card, right, it's like the feminine is running towards the masculine with so much love, hearts in the air, and the masculine's like, no, don't speak. My heart is broken. I cannot. Why do I feel like that this is the lover going towards the priest, and the priest like, no, I am celibate. I tried celibacy once. It was the worst 15 minutes of my life. Just saying. Not my style. I'm a hedonist born. You know, orgasm, that even if we're just talking the energetic dynamics of this connection has an explosive quality in terms of, again, playfulness, lightfulness. But you know, I've studied both Western sex magic and Eastern Tantra and weave them together. I mean, the word Tantra itself means weaving. So that this feels like a very powerful thing. So the electricity, the charge, the juice between the two of you might be triggering old wounds. It feels like it's more for the divine feminine priest, but it could be for the lover as well. You know, sometimes these things switch around, and what's underneath that old wounds is pain. But it's not just physical pain. Look, lady being carried out on a stretcher with a broken heart and a cloud over her. This is totally about the past. And what better than a Scorpio alignment, a Scorpio true love situation, to pull up from the underworld this dead weight, this emotional baggage that does not serve. But as that is cleared, we come to the card of enjoyment, which is similar in look to the card of adventure. But this time it's on a river, right? They're rolling, 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 rolling on the river. Sorry, little Tina for you there, a little Ike and Tina there for you, Ike and Tina Tuna. So in the overall here, you got a lot of cards here to say that this is, yes, a risk, but all relationships are. You know, every morning you wake up, it's the card of the Fool, right? You step out of bed or a futon or whatever. People still have futons. So 80s. You could step into a nice cushioned bedroom slipper or cat barf. I've had it happen. I live with 3 cats, my boys. Every time you walk out your front door, right, it's a risk. So yes, there is some risk here, but if that's the thing about the path of true love, y'all are going to be emptied out of that emotional baggage in these relationships, which leads me to think this might be twin flame, be very turbulent. It might be very push me, pull me, even though that card has not shown up. But I got to tell you, the sex is good on this one. The enjoyment is there. But it's like post-traumatic stress trigger. That's a good way to say it. It's just triggering old stuff, particularly trust issues. Yeah. All right. Let's get some final clarity for you all. I love these cards. I got them at Magic Moon in Saratoga. I won't be saying this for the rest of the readings forever and ever, but I love this deck. Gave it to me for free for reading some people on the staff. And they're just so wonderful up there. Saratoga Springs. Go say hello to Veronica and the staff. Alexis and all of them, and tell them Mark A. Lyons sent you. I don't get any kickbacks from them, but I just love them. I love promoting them. So God, Goddess, all that is, please, one card, one whisper of love for this divine feminine priest in this Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, path of true love relationship for August 2019. Just a little something, something, a clue, a tip, a hint. Have patience. Love is patient and kind always. Now, why do I feel like that's be patient with yourself? You know, I get the feeling for this divine feminine, like many of us on the path in general, not just on the path of true love, but awakening on the spiritual path, that we have all this spiritual knowledge that the ego can co-opt and use with all of these rules and regulations of what we should and what we shouldn't do, and this is good and this is bad. All it did was take our different forms of spirituality and dogmatize them, just like it has done within, even when they're saying even when the old religious spiritual systems were new, the ego began right away distorting and dismantling and repositioning it to schism. That's why you have schisms, right? Things start off really pure and then no, they disagree. That's the ego at work. All that rises falls, right? So have patience with yourself and with this lover, because this lover might be working your last nerve while you're saying no, no, no. And I'm not feeling this is a Me Too situation, but there is a little bit of a chaser runaway, the lover being the chaser, the priest being the runaway, as it were. So now let's tune into this lover archetype, this divine masculine. Please, God, Goddess, all that is, one card. One card for this divine masculine lover archetype on the path of true love, Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign for the path of August, for the month of August 2019. You knew what I meant, this one. Get to know each other. Learning to meet another's need for love is important for a relationship to grow. So get to know each other. Get to know each other. Well, what do you like? Well, I don't know, but I like to be patient. But no, really, what do you like? I don't know. You could rub my shoulders. That feels actually really lovely. I'm not even going to say slow it down. It feels like it's already being slowed down a bit. Well, because you're being careful, at least one of you in this. It feels like this lover is head over heels, though. So take the time, savor it. Don't rush to dessert, right? Savor the appetizer, the aperitif, the salad, the soup, the entree. I love to eat well. I don't look at it anymore. I used to. That feels really lovely, so I'm just going to pull one more. This is such a great deck. I'm really glad I have it. Thank you, Veronica, if you're watching. Although she's a Taurus, a Leo. I think she's a Taurus. She has a Taurus moon. Oh, God, Goddess, all that is. Please, one card, clarification, elucidation, a clue, a tip, a hint for this Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, path of true love reading. This relationship for August 2019. It's way too many, but I will take from these. And again, this, the one in the middle. Be supportive. Make a genuine effort to show you care. This is how you move forward wisely. That it's demonstrative. Be supportive. Oh. And look, there's the card of support. Ding, 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 ding. All right, so we've got some clarification and confirmation on that as well. You all got a lot of cards on the table here, but the overall sense of this is very much, this can be enjoyable, this can be orgasmic. It feels like the lover's going to get that tactile, be able to receive that loving physical body care support, as well as the divine feminine priest is going to be able to really begin experiencing, I don't want to call it Kundalini awakening, but that's not off the menu. A tantric experience. I've had some tantric experiences where not only have I had full body orgasm, Google that, you'll start training. But wait do you see what comes up, right? But that's the thing. As this happens, as more chi, prana, life force, grace, call it whatever you want, is activated within both of you, the cell tissue begins to release these memories that are not all your own. They're not just all from your personal baggage storage area. They're in the collective. They're in your DNA, which means there are ancestral patterns that we pass down. That there's a huge opportunity here, but the overriding thing of just be supportive. Like, here's the thing about the runaway and the chaser. The middle archetype, I began to mention it in a previous reading, but I never named it. Because you've got the runaway, feels like this is the runaway who was abused or neglected, blah, blah, blah. Not blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm sorry any bad thing ever fucking happened to anybody, but that's how we grow. I didn't make that rule. I wouldn't have made that rule. And the chaser is one who was neglected or ignored, right? So they chase. Well, the middle one, the healthy one, is called the walker. Karen Walker. Stop. I miss Karen Walker. I do. I mean, watch Will and Grace. She should have her own fucking show, but I think she's probably tired of that role by now, you'd think. I wonder if she's a Scorpio. The walker. She's like, take my hand. Let's just walk. Let's just, what do you like? Get to know each other. Have patience. So this isn't so much a slow your roll, because it feels like things are like, I want to, gas brake, push, pull. But to just walk, to take it little by little. You know, divine masculine, find out what they like, right? Get to know them. And you know, that can be great creative fun for you in this. I do that with my lovers, particularly once we get committed. Forget it. Once a ring goes on this finger that I didn't put there, I am very much like, not that I go like reading their phone. I would never touch somebody else's phone. That shit's private. But if they mention something, like if they like particular wine or something like that is so much fun for me. Particularly if they like particular food. If somebody's like, can't have tomatoes or can't have this or that, like I will research recipes to make the Italian food I can make without Italian, because believe it or not all Italian food has tomatoes in it, particularly northern Italy. And I just learned that tomatoes were brought to Italy, right? They're not even necessarily indigenous to the area, go figure. So, and you know, one last thing. for this divine feminine, you know, I'm here for the divine feminines. I'm mostly divine feminine energy. Yes, be patient with yourself, but also turn to your higher power. Like, this isn't happening to you. This is happening for you. And yeah, there are going to be bumps in the road. If this is twin flame, sure, you're going to learn how to heal yourself in this. If this is soulmate, this feels more soulmatey, though. Soulmatey. Oh, I soulmatey. Because you're helping each other heal. This feels very mutual, but I feel like you're also really afraid of the coyote, of being tricked, of the divine masculine going a step too far and screwing things up, sabotaging them, as well as the divine feminine priest there. Walls up too high, sabotaging it by not taking the risk. Yeah. So that's what I see for you. What else can I say then? God, Goddess, all that is, please bless all the Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for August 2019 with all that they need. Let them know the support. Let them know the enjoyment. Let them experience the play, the fun, the sensuality, and the sexuality that we all have chains of illusion and deception that we are in. We are all carrying baggage, not just from our own personal stories, but from other lives, from our families, from our society, as well as because we are all one and it's a holographic reality. Every time we heal something, it heals for everybody. So keeping all of that in mind, this could be a very deep mystical experience for you all Scorpios, and I hope you walk, don't run, walk through this and see what happens, because that card of enjoyment right below orgasm there, that feels really worth it. I'd go for it. Right? So for now, my darlings, my sweethearts, my Scorpios, I thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 so I can, you know, partner with YouTube. I'm not going to monetize though. I'm not going to edit my language for this. I'd have to go back and re-edit everything. Not going to happen. But please like, subscribe, share, all that stuff, because I want to get this info out there, because the more people who are conscious of a path, that the path of true love is a thing, and can begin playing the game of the path of true love, just like playing this Mercury retrograde. I've begun calling it Hermes game. The more that we can play that, the faster we heal, and the more people who will never even turn an eye towards this stuff will be healed as a result. Right? Worth it. Worth the risk. And of course, if you want more info, Scorpios usually do, contact me. My info is in the box below. And I will be glad to set up a private reading with you face-to-face or via video, whatever. All right. So my darlings, good luck, good luck, good luck. I wish you the very best. But for now, hail, farewell, and blessed day.